Hello everyone, and welcome to week 6 of the highs and lows for the XFFL. I am the Commish, and I am back this week. Last week I apologize, had a lot of stuff going on, and I figured by the time I got the video prepared and got it out there, it wouldn't have been in a very timely manner. So I just chose to go ahead and write up a short statement about it. But I'm back this week to talk about what's going on around the league, and this week we've got all kinds of cool stuff. Let's start with the NFL. So NFL, I'm going to get the dirty business out of the way. The Chiefs lost the second game in a row to the Texans, so not their best performance. It shows that Pat Mahomes is a mere mortal like the rest of us, but I'm hoping they'll get that train back on the tracks. But a couple of other notable items around the league. Sam Darnold, he came back from his mono episode. Didn't seem to slow him down any because he led the Jets to a win against the Dallas Cowboys. And as Coach Lane pointed out, we don't have to hear about them boys again this week because he took them down. Also, last night's Monday night game was pretty interesting. You had Green Bay against the Lions. Well, maybe it should be Green Bay and the refs against the Lions because they kind of took one away from the Lions here. There was a couple calls that was, considered questionable, but hey, those things happen. But anyway, that's kind of some of the highlights from around the league. Let's get into our league, okay? So the high week this week, we see the Evil Empire right back on top, okay? We've got Coach Dan Chase and the Marauders put 144 points up against the Kickers of Butte, which is not the case because they've dropped 3 in a row, so now they're 3-3. He only scored, Coach Jan and his team put up 113 points. So leading the way for the Marauders was Lamar Jackson. He was 21 for 33 with 236 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns, but he also added 156 rushing yards with that. So that gave him a total of 43 fantasy points, which was great. But it still shows a little mismanagement on Coach Chase's part because even though he's got the win, he could have squeezed a few more points out if he put Russell Wilson back in there. I talked to him earlier in the week, and he assured me he was going to fix that problem and stop leaving him on the bench to make more points than his starting quarterback. But, hey, maybe he'll figure it out. So I can't say too much, though, because when we move into our next segment here, which is Dead Ass Last, that would be me. That's right. I finally made the cut on that one. So I went up against Coach Carl Pittman, and it was not a pretty game. 86 from me and my squad, and 98 for him and his squad. But the key linchpin for me was Jared Goffel. That's right, you heard me, Goffel, because he was awful. He was 13 for 24 for 78 yards, no touchdowns, got sacked like 1,000 times. I think it was like 4 times actually, but he got me 1 point. So newest acquisition to the Irish Car Bombs didn't really pay off this week, but I'm hoping to see better and brighter things out of him going forward. So we'll see how that goes. But with that loss, it also puts me in with a cast of characters that are in the Eliminator, or have been eliminated from the Eliminator. So I won't see none of that money. So maybe next year I'll get to see some of that. Now to the bench warmer of the week. So this one goes to Coach Jason Wolf. He had Kirk Cousins, an acquisition that he got from the Irish Car Bombs a few weeks back. Had him on the bench. He was pretty good this week. He was 22 for 29. He had like over 300 yards, had 4 touchdowns, and had 52 fantasy points sitting on the bench, which would have been went a long way for helping him to get a win this week. So a lot of things going on there. So one development that's going on in the league right now, and it's kind of quietly happened, is that Coach Watson come back to the league this year. He is now in first place all by himself, 5-1. So he's quietly creeped to the top. But you know what? I've talked to Coach Watson and asked him about how he was feeling about things, and he was pretty modest. So I got a little video here of him coming into the interview so that I could talk to him. So take a look at it. Okay, so yeah, you can see he's feeling pretty modest about himself right now. But I checked my notes, and the quote was for his opponent next week, which happens to be the Evil Bastards, is in Copeland, that the Rednecks are coming. They're coming with a bunch of whoop ass and bringing moonshine and their cousins and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. So Copeland, you better watch out. Coach Watson said he's going to take care of business next week. So let's see what you can do with him, right? See if you can bring him down to the level with the rest of us. So a lot of good stuff going on there. I want to talk about league engagement again. You guys are doing a great job. Had throw a shout out to Coach Wolf, who was in Mexico and posted him wearing some of the XFFL swag out there in Mexico. So we've been represented in the Bahamas and in Mexico. So great stuff there. All right, last note of business is let's be mindful of our contract players, guys. Make sure that if you have them on IR or anything like that, make sure that you are checking their status to make sure they haven't been activated for the week. So that way we don't run into these situations where me or Tony have to make some decisions about the win, making a call for the win. So, but other than that, everybody's doing a great job this week. So keep up the good work, and I look forward to seeing what happens in week 7. So until then, I will see you around the league.